small scale drifters. Welcome to another Sunday ceremony. We got Dwight Cool, as always, in the middle. Down under me, Chris Lewis, and a special guest, Jack Blanchard today. Me, Chris Tronick. So, today we have a lot of things to speak about. We got an unboxing. We got some RX FlySky remote updates, and we will hear about Jack Blanchard's start in the small-scale drifter scene. So maybe Chris, do you want to start?
We were going to chat about we actually going to chat about printing. Me and Chris were doing a bit of printing this week, and I downloaded the Black Box Time Attack kit. Printed the bonnet, nice angle, like I print every other bonnet, and it kept warping, or the corners were falling off of it. So I've twisted it the other way. So I've now got the 2 points facing down. I've got a nice angle, put lots of support. It's still done the same. Then between me and Chris, I said to Chris, well, I wonder if I throw it aside. And Chris said, yeah, put it on its side. Yeah, but then when we put it on its side, supports the clumps here. So basically, I had to then go and throw all my own supports in, and we'll do
nice
it side on at this angle, raise the supports. It come out good. The rest of the kit, pure quality.
Wow.
I believe it was about £10 sterling.
So
50 each, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
very nice.
For what it is and the quality, because I've not long been into print, Chris will tell you. Well, Chris taught me everything I know, and I've made a lot of mess ups. So
everybody does.
The quality of the black box is written. The only other quality I can think that I've seen is, I'd say, slightly better. I wish it prints some cars. Is Monkey Garage.
No, it's not from
Monkey,
no, from Scale Tuner.
Oh, Scale Tuner.
Scale Tuner?
Scale Tuner.
Dude, man.
Yeah.
He has great files.
Just perfect.
Absolutely great files. They sit perfect on the absolute level. I like them very much.
Yeah,
I think you're pixelating a little, free up some memory.
So for most people,
to give you one enough, but without buckles on, it's just a case of there's so you've got to go and get your tronics right.
In your quest, and like I said, the amount kind of just body makes sense. Will learn. They will learn, respect, or at least acknowledge that body just changes everything. I mean, even if you have
that car tuned and it shows getting that thing, it's not doing too much out. Something snagging just slightly on the body. Which the common belief is, I get this car and I put magnets on it, and then I can just clip any body on. That is not going to happen.
I've just been through that.
The car bodies, there'll be places on you naturally want to put your magnets because the chassis, but the body's got a big piece of glass there, and you think I can buy bars to mag mount it. So, to me, it's building the car, it's set and foremost, and then don't paint it, don't do nothing. Just mount it and take the bonnet and the boot mainly. If the doors are off it, take the doors on it.
Yeah, all up weight. He's an airplane guy, so I'll get your all up weight set.
Yeah, so basically then I'll mount it, and once it's mounted on hard, then you set the car up, and then you can demount it, and with the magnets and stuff just to the pure plastic, you can see the entire car then, and put the thing back on it, boom. Yeah, the body takes longer than I'll tell you what, and to decal them or spray them, airbrush them, they will take you longer than that car took you to build and set up.
Everybody.
Yes.
Good.
This is my creation for.
That looks sweet.
I weigh of it, compare it to my Mini Z body. I weigh the back and the total weight. And, as a beginner, it helps for me to see what everything looks like because I'm still learning. So I created this. It's not precise, the same, but they're pretty similar. I can tune with this and then put my Mini Z body on, and it works pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how with the Exoterra, I wanted people to have the ability to, the Exoterra is a free STL that I commissioned. It's on its second evolution. I commissioned for 3 evolutions. Evolutions are really just revisions. We did evolutions. But anyway, so the second evolution is out. The chassis with the hood, the roof rack, the tail rack. And these you could do whatever. It's a living STL, meaning that it's designed to be modified, drawn upon and spawned, re-released, reshared. I don't even have a problem with people making them at a high quality and selling them. It's all good. I mean, it's for exactly this situation to where you have full access to the car, and then you'll be able to do your thing in a protective state. I mean, nothing makes me pucker more than watching people drive a car with no body on it. I'm just like, oh my God, you are really flirting with disaster. But hey, you know what? I get it. You just got to do what you got to do. So, as we're saying,
I
the
see, Chris.
chassis. Oh
Chris,
yeah, mine. But
you're
what's going on,
digging me
Chris?
out. You're digging me out, aren't you, for driving into table legs?
Oh yeah.
He
Uh,
knows it.
I was thinking that obviously I'm that guy who makes the chassis drive well without the body before I mount the body, and then I normally just have to retune a little bit the suspension because now changes after that. I drive a lot like has table legs in the middle,
Nice.
or I don't drive around table legs. So the the risk that something breaks is very little, very small. But then I thought, yeah, Chris, he is also not a fan of driving without a body because he broke a lot of cars without a body.
So the Exo, in my opinion, just kind of address this. Look, it's a fun project. You get in there, you start printing, or you source it from somebody. I'm thrilled that people have hit me up. I probably distributed about that. I haven't said Cool's or hit me up directly, Dwight Cool, on a small scale. The link when the final evolution is done, and I actually have my version in my hand. That will be a pinned SSD page, R&D page. And hey, just look for more stuff. It's like I said, it's going to make a great camera chase car. It'll make a great tuning protective shell. Play handle bags and certain things that you can put on it to kind of what we call sandbag a car, so you can kind of get your weight distro kind of where you like it, and then we'll have subsequent sermons here. We'll discuss weight distribution, people's just philosophy, because everyone's got a different way to tune, and so but the Exoterra is designed to help, in this situation. So appreciate that.
Very cool.
Chris, sort your camera out, man. You're really blurry. I don't know if he's blurry to you, Dwight.
Yeah, I think it's because we have people on. Maybe the bandwidth end is kind of lagging.
But no, here on my side where we record, the picture is good on all four of us. So
Oh, that's all right, because we're at your be definitely.
Yep.
no, all good.
Yeah.
Here it is all
Actually,
good.
you look a lot better. I'm just joking.
So
Right.
we were starting a little bit to talk about that. Jack, your evolution is very, very because you are now in it about 3 months or 1.5 months or so. Not bad, I have to say. I watched some of them yesterday evening, and I think today in the morning a little bit. Yeah, nice stuff with the coin.
Thank you.
Well, what's your background, Jack? You with me? I thought it was pretty awesome. So, anything you care to share to the people at large? I mean, we're all just normal people.
Well, I've been did a lot of racing, traveled around, did some racing, and then I gave it up. It just started getting too competitive, and I wasn't enjoying. Probably in the future, I'll probably go 10 scale because around here, there's very few 24, 28 scale. Started with off-road, on-road, then I got into airplanes, and then I got into helicopters. And I really like flying helicopters. And I've done that for years. I'm a team pilot for Goose Sky. And then in December, I saw an ad on Facebook for a little 176 drift, and I sent it. I have two son-in-laws that have never done anything with the RC hobby, so I sent them a video. I go, "Hey, y'all want to try this? Because I'm always looking for something that we can do together." So they both said, "Yeah, we'll try it." So I did research, found out those little cars weren't that good. Ended up with WL Toys, like beginning of January.
I love those.
And that was interesting. It was challenging, but I had to start cheap to get them into it. You know, if I'd have said, "Hey, let's go buy a drift art," and, you know, new radios,
$500, yeah.
Yeah,
They'd
they'd have been like, "No way." So one of the two boys has really gotten into it, and we spent about a month with WL Toys. I rated everything on drift art. I got the drift art DA3S, and my son-in-law found the used 2.5 summer edition, and been spending a lot of time learning how to tune, talking to a lot of people, and the driving for me has come fairly easy, probably because I've been doing it so long. I find it the first time I actually drifted around pretty decent, so they were surprised and I was surprised. So that part's come easy. Tuning is really challenging, and the drift art, I hear great things about them. Everybody says they're difficult to tune, and they're very finicky. If I add upgrades, I got to start tuning again. You know, it's everything you change is like you starting over again with the tuning. And I've been using this Lucas. It's an acronym for you start the lower arms. You set the body width. You know, your front tires to the body width. Then you do the U is the upper arms. You set your camber. Then you set the caster. Then you set the Ackerman. And then the S is you use your servo to kind of adjust the toe. And that it helps me because it's too much or whatever. And everybody has a different place to start. So and it gets me pretty close, but then it's like just trying to figure out, you know, making little adjustments to get it just right. And I'm still learning that. In fact, I'm tuning again today. Yeah. You know, I'm having my car's drifting good without the body, and with the body, it's not drifting good. So, and 2 days ago, everything was perfect. But I did more upgrades yesterday, and now it's like, here we go again, tuning some more. But, you know, as far as like videos, one of the reasons I have sponsors is I'm not a world-class RC helicopter pilot. I consider myself very good, above average. But I have a YouTube channel that has around 5 million views, and sponsors like that. So I'm doing it with drift cars because I'm really enjoying it. I actually haven't flown my helicopters. I've been just doing a helicopter event coming up in a month. I got to start practicing. So
drift your helicopter.
Videos and the edits, and you know, the drift art car is working well, and it's fun doing the tricks and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
I certainly love it, especially, you know, with the interactions with your family. I mean, honestly, I mean, that's just RC, you know what I mean? It's just,
yeah.
I don't know, you know, RC is a perfect conduit to create conversations that would not happen organically. Something about it, you know, now, obviously, you know, if you've been around RC long enough, you could see, you know, parents or, you know, companions that maybe push too hard, you know, for the interest to develop. And, you know, that can just kind of blow up in your face. But, you know, if you kind of let it percolate and, you know, as you said, you know, you have like a 50% success rate. You know, one of the two sons-in-laws have really gravitated towards it. And
yeah, it's the best part of the hobby is the community. And I find it interesting because I'm not getting any young folks in the hobby that are helping me, you know, because they've been doing it a while. And, you know, I'm like 30 years older than some of these guys. and it's like we're the same age. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And if I were these same guys in a supermarket, you know, we wouldn't have nothing to say to each other. They would definitely avoid the old man. You know, it's like got nothing to say to that old guy. The age doesn't make a difference. You know, it's more fun with more people.
Yeah, here.
That's
Hey, you know what?
important.
Wait till you get that essay. No, man. Hey, I love that, man. I'm so glad you had the ability to join. I know it was kind of impromptu. You know, this is really what it's all about. You know, this experience that you have, not unique, but again, you have a certain flair for it. Like my grandfather was probably the only like nude photographer that I ever knew. Photographer, like that was, you know, for composition. And you have it, like, you know, even your little vignettes of your diorama with you taking a photo kind of thing. You know, those juxtapositions I really enjoy. I'm into the fantasy. You know, I love building. I like getting lost in my little diorama. I mean, honestly, if you want to have a good time, you know, well, me having a good time is like my wife will give me something really inexpensive, like a small little machine that I these that I made. You know,
I like that.
And there's like a little this is actually a battery plug. It's lead, you know, but I've already worried about the but anyway, that in there and wait to. It's not going to break anything, but you know, to track or to clean it or to kind of put my scale self in, watching people's scale self come out. I don't know. It's just something that I've coined, you know, because you know, I'm like, he's like, oh, do you, the truck will go up that? I said, I don't know. What does your little inner self think? You know, because when I'm not quite right, you know what I'm saying? But his life's ended. But I don't know. I have a good time, and it allows the children or adults, whatever, to kind of understand that person is you. Like, you know, the ability to play and fun. You know, these are things that, you know, people lose focus. Yeah, everyone's got their hobbies, but this one really special in regard. So anyway, I can go on with those.
Are you ever driving your real car and going around a turn and start thinking, man, if I could just slide it out a little bit?
You know, I would, but the Tesla's got these cameras on. If my wife ever got any video of that, you know, it was the last time I'd be driving, you know, so I'm actually banned from driving if my wife's in the car. You know, whatever. She knows my phrase is the gap sauce, you know. I mean, I see a Porsche, you know, 911 GT3, and I'm just like, what does he learn? What do you need to teach him? I said, he bought the wrong car. Anyway. No, it's a hoot. I didn't want to like the Tesla, you know, because I'm a forced induction, you know, I'm a machinist, you know, I make power, but man, that car is just so, I mean, it is a 2x4 to the forehead. I mean, there is just no getting around it. And it does it with no flair, you know, that's the one thing I don't like is that I actually play videos that have 2JZ sounds in it so I can hear, you know, at least that cackle, you know, inside the cabin. I know it's kind of, you know, weird, but I don't know.
The Tesla you should have a program in your Tesla.
Oh yeah,
where you can make it sound like RB26 or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just need to
I don't
record
know.
the sound.
We saved different driving profiles, so mine, I forget to put it on there. She's like, oh my god, I was driving in traffic and I went to pass someone, I didn't realize I'm on your setting, and it's like, holy crap. Hey, welcome again. Got a great one. Chris has got a ton of stuff, unboxings and so forth, so yeah, you know, let's hop off, you know.
Well, let me move my camera around while I'm moving my camera.
Yeah. So Tron, are you printing anything lately?
P1S. Yeah, so I couldn't show it last time, but now it is from the table, and this is the first test of this.
I'm going to hop off, guys, because maybe it'll help clear up Chris's screen.
Yeah. Again, you know, thanks for joining. You know,
enjoyed it, guys.
See ya.
Jack,
we appreciate you.
I managed to get the camera set up. That's why I had a little break. Jack's had to go, but we're back. So thanks a lot again, Jack. Done with what we were chatting about. As you all know, yes, I've done the red TG.
Nice.
That's it. There's no what shims fitted.
So I'm calling this the TG Light 1.5.
No, the light. There's a different metal at the bottom here.
Oh,
metal gears, right?
I see. So what is this? The TG?
This is the TG,
1.5?
the normal. Yeah, the normal TG. It comes as a TG and a TG Lite.
In fact,
Right. So
me and Chris were absolutely the same as the normal version 1. Only,
Yeah.
but they did
the
resolve the hinge pin
only
arrangement.
Good found a very good machinist who was able to make these parts with much smaller tolerances and with better fitment and with better overall look.
Mhm.
So it's basically has nothing changed on the car, but it still got better
Well,
because you
look.
don't need to shim it like crazy.
Look. This is the first one. You can see the movement, and that's shim.
Yeah.
I can't shim it anymore, or it'll block up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's not going to keep you from sliding, people, but we're talking about precision.
It won't. Yeah, but for a car with no money involved in it, the only thing that's moving now is
What
no
needs to be.
movement in the top arm.
Nice.
Nothing
Yeah,
yet.
that's why I call it a 1.5, because in a Evolution, if it was a 2.0, it would clearly have a different gearbox or something. But since they've kind of updated the machining and the beveling process and really kind of enhanced the parts, I'm just going to call it couldn't be a version 1 because that one has some, fitment issues, etc. So 1.5 to me, I don't know. I think the red also signifies it. What other color options do they have?
Can I just say,
Blue and black.
just please, while we're on YouTube, doing this on YouTube, no, I have not put my arms up incorrect. I have my arms this way because, as you can see, it straightens the springs out. They're no longer bent when you have the arms reversed. Also, it gives me adjustment, which you can't do when the arms are reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the springs are already bent. By adjusting it, you're just making it go like Popeye of olive oil, from Popeye. Yeah, so hence, as you can see the top arm, the movements in it, it's shimmed to death. The new one, Zilch.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And what's the MSRP on that? And where are you getting it? GT55?
No, I personally, I believe it's going to be about $135, $140 with the postage then to be added. So obviously,
Awesome.
let's round it off at $20 postage. But as you can see, that is one smooth gearbox.
Yeah. Are there motor mounting position options? I see a mid and high right there.
Yeah, you can swing your motor right round to the bottom, right? Or, as I've done in the previous one,
Yeah,
you
flip
can
my
do
gearbox.
these. Yeah, you can flip the whole gearbox around, and then have
Nice.
this motor at the rear. Yeah, that's on. This is my fifth one I've built now. Yeah, so I've got them.
I
like
love
this.
them.
This is the blue one with the belt system. I will be more than likely selling this. I'd rather keep it in Europe or the UK. If someone in the States wants it, they have to pay the postage. I will be taking the electronics off it, so it'll just be a rolling chassis. I'll leave them wheels on. It'd be about £130 sterling, maybe.
About 150.
Yeah, and then included, I'll put the original gears that come with the car, these ones, which are metal also, the blue ones. I'll put them in with it in the box. So, yeah, you'll have a fully built car because let me tell you, people, a lot of these cars turn up, there's a part missing off them. I've had a chat with Boo himself, and he said he's going to rectify this problem and try and sort it out with better quality control. The red one come minus a bearing. Fortunately, I've got a man cave and I've built so many, I've got lots of bearings, so I could get one myself. But it's just annoying that if the bearing is missing out the gearbox, you've stopped the car build. It's a minor problem, like Chris. You can always get another bearing off Amazon, whereas if there's no hole in the arm, then you're annoyed because it's an aluminium part that's mismanufactured, and you can't do nothing about that. You've got to contact the manufacturer and wait. But my overall of the ready machine, then the blue, one belt, one normal, one rear engine, and one tronicalized. So
Nice.
this has got the normal gears on at the moment. It will be getting tronicalized, I can assure you, with the red ones.
Ooh,
If not,
I got the red gears too.
Well, I've also got that bad boy if I put on it.
Woo! Yeah, I
Well,
like it.
I,
Hey,
I've got
one
to be
thing I
honest.
just want to mention about this quality control thing. So, hey, look, everything you said is totally accurate. You know, it's very frustrating. I mean, it's really deflating. I mean, even though I have quite a few cars, the new one comes into the fold, and I'm just in love. That the passion reignites. You just get into it, and then you have to put everything on hold. And passions run high. And things can get said and so forth. I'll just say this much: act how you choose to. That's fine. But remember, we're just lucky to have this stuff. America is really small potatoes to these manufacturers. And Europe. They're not. Their main markets are their markets. Also, you're not talking to Tamiya or Kyosho or Traxxas. Scale. We're talking in some cases only 100 chassis. Hell, maybe even only 1,000 chassis. And you divide that up around the world, and I mean, again, we're just lucky to have them. So, understand that if you've ever, written a report at school, if you've ever, had some sort of thing, and you hit print, and you're good, and then one of your friends or whomever, or God forbid, someone really important, finds a typo or something, it just makes you look silly, And so, believe me, those manufacturers are people just like you and me, but they have really made the investment of both their time and their money on a dream. Because I've seen chassis that come DOA, dead on arrival, B&D, perfect example. I mean, that guy lost his shirt on that deal. He was like 30 grand in debt. I mean, he had the mafia over there coming after him, apparently. So listen. Some people are feeding their families with this stuff, as far as retailers and so forth. I can guarantee you 100% that if you have a problem with any that we're talking about and they come from a reputable dealer, not secondhand, but reputable dealer, they will take care of you 100%. That is just what they expect it. It's sad, but they expect it, and they're cognizant of it, or they're aware of it, and they are addressing it the best that they can. But do you want a chassis for $150, or do you want a chassis for $250? Because he's got to pay 3 people to now be the QC to go through these thousands of kits. So, you really have to kind of understand it a little bit, the full sphere here, And again, conduct yourself accordingly. But, if you act like a loon, it's not going to work out good, save that for the professionals. We handle that back channel. Trust me, those conversations are being had. But we are respectful. So if you're having an issue, reach out to SSD. You can reach out to us directly via DM.
In terms of missing bearings or missing screws or things like that, good point for the quality control, easy to do without any extra people, would be to give the guy who put the bearings or the screws or whatever in the bag, give him a scale and tell him how heavy
scale, exactly.
a correct filled bag is. Because then he filled the bag, put it on the scale, it has exactly the weight, okay, this bag is good. If not, it's not good.
I was just going to say it, weigh the box.
You don't have to pay anyone extra. You just would have to think about how can I go around that without without spending more money, because these scales in China, they cost near to nothing, and if he gives everybody in the company one scale, it wouldn't make the car more expensive. But the reliability that every part is in the box would be much higher just by scaling all bags and in the end the whole box. I mean, if there are 2 grams missing, then something is missing.
Yeah, 2 grams is a ton of weight in these cars. Trust me. I use 2 grams and 2.5 grams as the lowest denominator of weight that I add, So, and it's significant. You put 2 grams anywhere on that car and you're going to feel it. I guarantee you. It may even fix your car. Who knows? So anyway, but yeah, that's awesome, Chris. I'm glad you're having a good time with that. You got past the hurdle.
Yeah, man. It ain't too big.
What's next on the show?
Well, I've got some hobby stuff I bought this week. Um, Rio Hardy, I might like to say, I'd like to thank him for his.
Anything you're going to share?
Yeah, I'm going to get it.
No worries. Yeah, he's a pleasure to work with. He is probably the standard for scale livery or scale decals, if you will, water slide decals. I have built models my entire life, ever since I was about 4 or 5. So let's just say 45 years of model building. Okay, I'm an only child. I was adopted. I just found myself, in a scale world from the very beginning. And so, wanting to be the good son, I'm always building models for my, family, just to show, that kind of love. But, putting on water slide decals was just pretty much an ends to a means. Everyone's done it, but Rios are kind of, Chris is to understand that his own self. So I would say anyone starting out with some Rios, I would, try with the smallest decal on there just so you could kind of see, because my experience has been, at least, I couldn't really reposition them the way I most normally would. It may have even been the finish on my body. Who knows? But the point is that, it was a learning curve. It was a little steep, but again, his decals are the standard. I have this on my Cools R&D. Open wheel drifter. It's still in progress. I'm actually gonna paint this thing on the underside, but yeah, I don't know if this is coming up, but yeah, I like the females. Who doesn't? God made them for us. Happy Women's Day. But look, I mean, they laid out so nice. I'm trying to catch that angle. I mean, there is nothing here. Now, mind you, there is a whole clear transfer paper here that just doesn't even show up. I mean, they just lay so nice. I mean, look at that. I've also dipped this. This is one of the parts I dipped in the last sermon, but look at that thing. I mean, come on. I could polish this if I wanted to, because it's a floor polish. On today's sermon, I'm going to paint the underside of this with metallic manicure powders that I got off of Temu. I love them. They are a game changer for me. I hope they help someone else. But yeah, we'll let Chris get to it.
Well, you get some lovely stickers off them, vinyl stickers. Obviously not for your car, but they will look nice on my mat. Looks like a windshield sticker. Let's see the goodies. This is the decals I ordered.
And he will do custom decals for you. You just send him a picture, and I guarantee within 10 minutes they're going to have exactly what you want. I mean, this guy is a madman. I mean, he is the man. Thanks, Rio. Hey, and RC Supremacy's handling Rio now. So, yeah, you'll be in the States. You'll be able to get copies off of Brad over at RC Supremacy. Glad that, man, he's just slaying it. So glad that we got a chance to reconnect. Like
Let
most
me
of
just
us.
say, these decals, you can't really see them too good, but there's white, fluffy clouds in between.
Wow.
I can see them, but it's hard.
They're shiny as hell. That's all I got to say.
Look. There you go.
Yeah, man.
I got me Valentino. Yeah, they feel nice.
Yeah, they're nice and thick, but they're just gorgeous. I mean,
This is going on the Time Attack, I do believe. It'll be a challenge, but she'll go on. And then I got the Dragons.
nice.
I'm thinking about putting them on a Toyota Hilux truck right down the side.
Yeah, we're gonna have some pickups hitting the scene. I got actually Rio's making the Cools R&D official Datsun 510. Me and Dom Brett. He's a business partner of mine. He's a cool cat. Those who know him, he comes at as a flavor. He's a personality. Like a lot of us. So I'm sure I have my detractors out there, but Dom has always been solid with me. He will literally stay up till like 4 a.m. to chat with me, just to, I don't know, like yourselves, Chris, Lewis, he just makes himself available, and, him and Rio are really close. And so, You know, they just pull like an ox for me, for Cools, for SSD. You know, we're all really into it. You know, and I'm just so glad that RC Supremacy is you know, shouldering up with us. You know, along with a couple others. You know, 3C's RC. And we got actually Justin Rotterbach has his RC shop coming online. I just he's got a really interesting name of it. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. Forgive me, Justin. But anyway, check SSD for any updates.
Mhm.
Here's unboxing number
Very
2.
nice.
Let me people don't all get excited. It's not a chassis. I will have I'll hopefully on the next sermon I'll have a super new chassis to show you all. Let me just right. This is a UK based company. They're called Pro Scale Paints. I know that's going backwards, but they're called Pro Scale Paints. And I got a lovely handwritten letter off the chap saying, "Thank you for supporting our business. Thanks again." I'll be honest with you, I quick flick through the page. I think it was on Thursday morning, no, Wednesday morning, and just flicking through it, I bought 3 things. Mrs. Lewis shouted at me, so "Get off." Excuse me. Oh,
Dementia kicks in.
the dementia's here, bro. Right.
Hey, I already own this.
What these are, they have a fine blade on this end, a tooth blade, and this one toothed all the way around.
Yeah.
This is tooth just here. This is tooth there. I've got teeth, and this one is toothed all the way around.
Wow.
They're for scribing out. Yeah. So you just hold them between your fingers and you drag them down. And as you can see, they're crazy thin.
Yeah. Photo etch. It looks like stainless.
Yeah, it does to me as well. I purchased these for the old Dremel. And this
So
is
polishing pads?
a polishing pad, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
One of them is rough. So I presume you can put pads on that. The other 3 are 3 different types of sponges. So I see them on YouTube. Guy done a car with them. Worked out absolutely brilliant.
I want to share something with you because you just, I'm going to leave the camera just for a moment because I know exactly where it is, but I want to share something with you guys. But please, go ahead.
I'll just finish this off now. This is Pro Scale's own 2K primer activator. I've never tried it, so in the next few weeks, hopefully, I'll be throwing this at a car.
Nice.
I've got a lot of bodies to do, you all know. I've got body kit coming out my ears at the moment, so yeah, I've got plenty to do with that. So I'm looking forward to trying that.
All right. So you brought it to my attention. I've had this now for about 3 months. Again, it's from my sponsor, Temu. No, I'm just joking. I should be sponsored by these guys, but this is a handheld, portable, brushless, load sensing, and fully adjustable Dremel that clicks to your belt. It's portable. It's like a little battery pack. And so I'm going to turn it on here somehow or another. Or maybe I haven't used it in so long. Oh, here it is right here. Let's see. But yeah, I probably have to charge it. But long story short, why I like these, and it doesn't have to be this. This is just kind of convenient. You know what I'm saying? This is everything that I want. This thing goes up to 30,000 RPM, and you can adjust it up and down and so forth. But long story short, the reason why this thing is so awesome is because, and any of your Dremels can be this awesome, is for these ceramic grinders. These ceramic, if you were a machinist, this would be like a hogging bit. All right? Yeah, the ceramic ones. Exactly. I'm going to tell you why these are game changers. They do not get hot. You will be able to grind your plastic without itching. Yeah. It will just be dust. These ceramic ones do not get hot. If you did a body by body thing you'll find that the ceramic ones will just give you powder and dust, which of course wear your mask or whatever. But the metal ones, by comparison, they get ooey and gooey, and they get all the stuff in there. You know what's up. So I encourage everyone to at least experiment with these, and they're dirt cheap. I mean, you could get what Chris showed there for like $7 or $8, and I mean, those will be the last ones you ever buy. This thing has a really cool. I work on surgical equipment. Anyone familiar with surgical equipment? This is almost the same as a Stryker 250, and it's like a dental thing. So you twist lock. It has a twist lock collet. So you just twist, comes out, put it back in there, knock it in. It's totally secure. It could probably even be offset. Yeah, you can even offset it. So you don't have to run it like all the way straight, But anyway, they sell these for nothing on Temu. I'm sorry I don't have mine charged up. I'm actually going to charge it right away. But yeah, those ceramic bits are awesome.
Well, I've not tried them yet, but as I said, that the whole front of that Supra has got to come off. So I'll be trying them on that, that's for sure.
Yep.
That's for sure. Put these wheels on twice, and twice I put the wrong direction on.
Yeah, it's that too. So let's see. We talked about the Exoterra. Just as an aside, we saw some traffic on the page, a couple actual pages. Some people were having some difficulties with their Nobles and their MXO receivers, these micro receivers. And so the latest update, firmware update for the Noble MB4 and models like that, they have the Plus, they have the Pro, all of that. All the MB4s, the newest update will allow third-party receivers with no issue. Now, there may be an update that's required on the receiver itself. Like, as my example, I have some original Noble receivers, and I have some others that are third-party, but maybe I purchased them a year or two ago. So those particular ones, I have to update the firmware on the receiver. It's to my knowledge that if you purchase a receiver that's late model and you have the latest update from Noble, it should be plug and play because they've resolved the conflict with third-party receiver suppliers. They got such a lashing by the community that they went ahead and got this update out for us. So hopefully that helps people. Pain in the butt. I mean, Noble, with their updates and so forth. But I don't know. Once you've done it and you do it a couple times, should be all good. I just love that radio. It's a great value. It's such a performer. So anyway, I hope that helps some people out. And there is a Noble FlashSky owners group on Facebook. I suggest that anyone who's having any issues or questions, they go on there because, they're doing the math over there. They can help you set up your throttle curves, all that stuff.
Nice.
Well,
so for
this
some,
thing rolls lovely.
yeah, it does.
Tires. What tires will I put on it?
Something generic.
Aye, something generic. I've got to sort my steering out. I know that. She needs more oomph.
I was just looking at my little GLD. I just love this little car. I dipped this body, and I mean, I'm telling you, straight off the dip. I even dipped it with the lenses and everything. I just dunked this whole thing in there. And I mean, I don't know if you could catch that window, but
Yeah,
man, this thing is
looks
shiny.
really
It's as shiny as any hand polished car that Kyosho has. I'll take the Pepsi challenge. You won't be able to tell the difference between a fine hand polish because this was not. This was an antique. This is an old one, man. This thing was so nasty when I had it. But taking the chassis off, I like the GLD in the 28 scale. I know our industry and our passions are in the 24 scale, but the GLD and 28 scale is just such a great little car. Those scale bodies with no effort at all. In fact, if you buy the auto scale body that comes with the dummy chassis and the tires or wheels, I should say, the wheels and the body, it is just made for it. It gives you the perfect offset right out of the box, as long as you're buying the appropriate wheelbase and width. GLD never really got into the wide arm, setups. But if you're looking for, small scale drifting in 28 scale, I mean, the GLD is just a weapon. This thing, brass chassis. I mean, what's not to love? It got the ball diff. I mean, it is just, it's just a great chassis. So, we talk a lot about our, drift arts and mile racings and so forth, but, outside of B&D, I don't think there was a bad chassis ever made. Even the K989 kicks the B&D's rear end all day long, so, I've literally given a B&D away for someone to get running, and it's just,
Yeah,
Anyway.
Garage RC, he bought two of them, one for me, one for him. And I rung him up and says, what happened to that chassis? And he says to me, brother, I ain't sending it to you. I went, what? He said, bro, it's that bad. I ain't sending it to you because you go on live or something and get right into it. And I said, all right, then that's cool. He said, I promise you, if it was a quality chassis, I'd send it. He went, but it's so bad you don't want to know about it. Hence,
yeah.
when he says it's bad, because he can set up most things, mate. So for him to say that chassis is poor.
Yeah, no, I got about $1,000 into the. I had two. They were $369 plus shipping. It was like $40 on each one. So that was that was $800, and then I put another $250 into the 10 scale offering that they had, this black and chrome version called the Founders Edition. Supposed to be one of 20. That was a lie. The chassis came unnumbered. It looked like it came from Temu. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ever got from Temu, they just ship them in a bag. I mean, it wasn't in a bag, but that cardboard box was so, wrangled that. Anyway, so I was pretty livid about it. I'll never let it go. He made promises to me that remain unkept. And I know that he is, I know that, again, my experience with him is, unlike other experiences. I know Mikos is friends with him. I know that they do business together, on big business stuff. But look, anyone that knows me knows that I am not going to track you down. I'm not going to ask for nothing. I don't really care. Look, if I got a favor, because you could have had me for a lot more than that, So, but if you come and circle back to me saying you're going to make it right, you're going to give me a free chassis, you're going to design something, and I'm going to be first on the list. Hey, look, you know what? You said that, not me. But I'm not going to hound you for it. I'm not that guy. My life is too full of happy. I just step it off. It's like walking through a fart for me. I'm like, oh, fuck, what was that?
Well,
it's
I
over.
get the same with stuff. Yeah, I'll post it to you, bro. I'll post people stuff. And then it's like, yeah, I'll post it to you, bro. I'll post this back, post that back. And they never come. And I'm like, I can't be bothered to contact them and say, well, what happened to my stickers, man, to the wheel thing?
And, hey, look, I honestly wouldn't even have such fangs out for the guy, but, don't let me catch you on the 10 scale sites offering these unicorn chassis for $700-800. When you got all this unfinished business over here in the 24 scale realm. I mean, you think we forgot? I mean, come on, man. You're like, so anyway, we're going to pass that, but, if you come across a B&D chassis, you've been warned. How about that? So, learn from my mistakes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it's like that, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. Is that what they say? It is what it is. I hate hearing that, but the first thing I learned in life, honestly, I got to be honest. The first thing I learned in life was life's not fair. That's just, I'm telling you, if I had to go back to my earliest childhood memory, that was it. That was it. I mean, it was crushing, but it was a good lesson to learn, And with that, understanding what life has in store for me, you make your own way, and you don't poop on your name, and you could, have some meaning in life. So anyway, what are you doing, Tronic? You're over there just probably dual screening this. Well, I want to see that hard drive.
No, I'm since some weeks, step by step, I'm working on a R32. Dwight, I thought you post a video of the red R32 with the Mustang front end. So
Yeah, the Mustang. They
uh,
mushed it together. The Mustang.
I don't didn't really take a Mustang front end, but I was thinking of the Boss RX-7, and it's a Mazda RX-3 from the 70 front end, and I printed it out, and I had uh, an R32 I didn't like too much laying around, yeah. So I said, okay, let's try this, and I started to build this. So
Oh man. Oh my God. So that's a RX-7 front and rear with a Skyline center section.
it's a RX-3 from 32, and I also
Wow.
widened the R32 rear end uh, about
Wow.
6 millimeters. Yeah.
What's the overall rear end width? About 85?
No, now it is. Oh, let me take a look. I measured it before, but I forgot the measurements. 1 moment.
Use your finger. That's
The
2
rear,
inches. That's 50 millimeters.
the rear is now 81, and
Oh,
the front,
totally reasonable. Yeah, that's very achievable with almost any chassis out there. Most
and
chassis are in the
the
72
front
to
is the front is
I'm sorry?
the front is 84 millimeters wide
Mm.
now.
Oh,
Uh,
time attack. Yeah.
so yeah, like you say, you can easily achieve that. The normal Skyline R32 are a little bit narrow in the rear, so a DRZ, for example, fits very well. But many other chassis, you have no chance to put a Skyline or a R32 without wide body over it, or it's not an easy task. You have a chance, but it's not an easy task, and I don't know if it will drive very well then, because you have to narrow everything very much down. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
it
the
constricts
wider,
the geometries.
yeah, the
Mhm.
geometries get extremely short, everything. So yeah, that's the reason why I made it about 6 millimeters wider in the front. I thought it was 75 originally, but it's not very
Yeah,
wide.
and so
So
it's just another aspect to the hobby, you know. It's so encompassing. You know, you have to. It's not that you have to be a good model builder. I mean, hell, you know, Man YP, Rio Hardy. You know, these are some of the standards as far as what's available out there. You know, Man YP. Honestly, you're gonna wait 3 to 4 months. I mean, he is so in demand right now. Um, I got, I think, 3 bodies that are coming from him, but all staggered out across a month or two for sure. But again, he's the standard. Um, you know, if you can get in touch with him, if you're having difficulties reaching out or getting on his list, you know, reach out to us. You know, we'll do what we can. But you know, if you're a little unsure, look, I've even slid diecast. You know, I got no problem sliding a diecast body. Obviously, you're going to have to set your suspension up a little bit, and you know, I would more centralize battery because of too much rear weight bias. But long story short, the heavier your car, and again, this is just philosophies, right? I know a lot of the purists are really lightweight and so forth, but let's just say that you're operating a super heavy car. It takes so much more discipline, I should say, to slide a heavy car because of the inertias that you're building up. I mean, it's very difficult to go ham with the diecast body because you're having to shut off your power a lot earlier. Your slides are initiating a lot sooner. They slide a lot farther. I mean, if anything, you're going to get some of the most monster slides at full turbo because you're trying to not peg the wall of sorts. And so the only thing that's going to get you out of that are these 7,000 kV motors, these 5,000 kV motors that just maul those tires. So anyway, if it'll fit on that car, you could slide it. All right, that's all I got to say about that. So just on there, it's going to be fine. If you're having difficulties, reach out, please.
true. Yeah, that's true.
What's
Yeah.
been your experience, Chris? Because you got like the most running chassis,
Which Chris?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Deacon. are you just building chassis to match your bodies? You're not doing any body swaps.
Chris,
Oh,
your
your mic is
microphone
off.
died.
Oh, no, he just went idle.
But I don't
There
body
you
swap, mate. I think for a start. So to start body swapping, you can kiss my back. Yeah. Mountain is the worst part to me. Chris will tell you, I hate it with a vengeance. I detest it. That's why I've got so many chassis and a load of models behind me unmounted. But as for driving them, when people say, "Oh, this is the best car," that's the best car, I think they all drift.
It's
Every one of
personal
them cars.
liking.
Yeah, drifts. Some you've got to set up totally different, like the BMRX front motor. That's set up like no other car.
It
That's
is
about
like
I
the
have
only
one.
car.
Yeah.
I know that's about the only car I run. Suspension that's as hard at the front as it is at the rear.
Yeah.
Because it's got a motor and all that brass on it, and the reason heavy because it's got a big brass gearbox. The whole thing is a beast of a weight. The fact it's front motor, it makes it a whole different kettle of fish of doing stuff. It's like I was saying to Chris last night. My TG, which has got the rear motor on it, I left them. I always flip my arms, but I left them. I flipped them. I spun my gearbox round basically, and then so the motor was totally at the rear of the car. It's at 105 mil in length because the body I want to put on it, and that thing will go through 2 hairpins. Perfect. It'll flip round. It'll hold them perfect. The minute you throttle out and try and bring it round something wide and long, you start fighting at a halfway point. That thing now, the whole back end wants to start going. Yeah. So it's a bit of a duress to get out of a long drifting in. But other cars I've got, they won't go through them 2 hairpins anywhere near as good as that. But on a long drift, I could drift that out my house, mate, take it round the block and bring the thing back in. It would drift perfectly long. To get the perfect car that will drift in tight transitions and perfectly long, I'm not quite sure it's possible because I think you got to have the car slightly set up differently to do them 2 things.
Yeah, for sure.
I have an opinion on that. Chris, do you have, Tron, if you have some input on that?
Yeah, me personally, I have the same feeling as Chris about that. You need 2 different setups for a tight course and for a not so tight course. Me personally, I like my car for longer curves and for holding drifts very long because you can always use your momentum to go around S curves or very, very small tracks. Not the whole track, but just the very small corners or the very small curves. Yeah, you can always use your momentum. So you hit the throttle shortly before you want to make the turn a little bit harder. So the rear breaks out and you just go around that corner a little bit faster, and then you just stop the drift and make a transition to the other side and use the same momentum again. And then you go back into a long drift. And so my opinion on this is with a car that is set up for S curves or very fast side changes and for very small tracks, you having hold the bigger, you have less problems if you set up a car for bigger curves to take small curves. Yeah, that's what my experience says about this. Yeah.
Yeah. So my background has always been in motorsports. Always motorsports racing, drag racing, kart racing, motorcycle, World Superbike, privateer. I was a mechanic for Ducati, and so forth. So one of the main things I ever learned was from a really close friend of mine who has passed. His name was Kenny Deutsch. Kenny Deutsch. He was a three-time WKA World Karting Association Unlimited 250 shifter kart world champion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of the shifter kart and the World Championships is that you only have to attend one race a year, and that's the International Daytona race. That is the World Championship race. It happens every December 26th at Daytona, and he has won that 3 times. All right, so he's been world champion. So you could campaign across the world, and you only have to win one race, and that's the Daytona race, and so that's what it was. The reason I mentioned him is because he was he was a mentor of the psychology of two, and essentially, as Chris has enumerated and Tronic has also enumerated, that what I have come to learn is you can only tune, and what I have been told is you can only tune for one event on the track. Okay, Daytona, as an example, you got a super high speed ovalized bank corner, almost 60 degrees. You're well into almost 200 miles an hour, with no suspension. All right. And then you have to do that, but then and win at that, or you have to pick if you want to win in the infield, which is all chicanes, S-turns, hairpins, you name it. They got it. So he would make up all of his difference on the straightaways because he had a laydown kart. This guy was 6'3", over 210 pounds. He was magnanimous as far as his machining capabilities. He made his own calipers. He made the pistons in his calipers. He had inboard disc brakes that were larger in diameter than the tires that they were stopping. Okay? I mean, this guy would show up to races and people would just pack up their stuff and leave because they knew that they weren't even going to have a chance. All right? But his competition was the current style of shifter kart, which is a more upright seated position. So he was a huge monster of a guy. He built his car, which is almost 8 foot in length. It's totally streamlined around. It's a streamliner. But this thing would hit such high speeds, terminal velocities, that, again, he tuned for his race. He was going to win his race on the high end. Other people would sacrifice on the high end and make up all their ground on the infield. So drifting and any other motorsport is not any different at all. You can only tune for one event at the race. Where do you think you could win in this race? You think you could win in the high speed? You think you could win in the infield? Just whatever it's going to be. And again, on the infield, there's only one set of corners that will decide your race. You know what I'm saying? It's like playing a musical composition. You get to that one chorus or what have you, you got to nail it. If you don't nail this, it's over. It's lights out. Just walk off the stage. So, long track versus short track. Perfect examples. This is where the ball diff and live diff, which is a fixed differential, come into play for myself. If you're stuck in between, should I run a ball diff or should I run a solid rear axle? It's really, to me, what is the length of this track? What is the amount of slide that you're trying to get? If you are into a huge track feature like a huge sweeper, honestly, that would be ball diff all day for me. The reason being is that when you have live or solid axle, that to me is great for the tight stuff. You have both wheels breaking free simultaneously at all times. The differential effect is negated. It's really good for those tight transitions, as Chris was talking about, where you can kind of use the body's inertia in like a snapping fashion to get the car to do what it wants. But when you take that chassis into a really long sweeper, it can be done. Clearly, it's done all the time, but it takes such an amount of throttle control and discipline to understand what you're trying to do. Again, you have a car that is a slayer in the tight stuff, but you have to make it around this big feature, without stalling out, without breaking the train or whatever the case may be. So if I knew that I was going to go to a 10-scale track, because I do, I take my Mini to a 10-scale track and I show them what's going on. But I'll usually run a ball diff because that will allow me to tune at least one of the tires, generally the outside tire, into the slip, and I'll have the stability of the other tire, which is rotating at slightly slow positions. I find it a lot easier to get that sweeper with an open diff or a ball diff. But again, I will struggle with that setup in the tight stuff because I won't have that transition available to me unless I really blast the throttle and essentially get past the ball effect. I'm like going straight past it, like, they're going right to live, And again, that's just a driving style. So, hopefully
Well,
some people can pick some stuff off of there. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, but that's how I approach it. You can only tune for one event.
I was saying to Chris as well, all my cars free roll, yeah, apart from the zero, but she's nearly there. I'll gear it up and I'll make it there. But as I said to Chris, I barely touch my brake. I let off coming into the bend, yeah, and then I'll just turn my car one way and throttle it to throw it in. So I use my steering and my throttle to commit the drift. I don't use the brake to commit the drift. The only car I've got is that front motor BMRX. I've got to hit the brake on it. It's so heavy, when you let off, I think to myself, I'll let off a lot earlier, and I'll try and make the bend. And it just seems that she rolls like nothing on the planet. I know what it is. It's the weight of the car.
Yeah.
It's like if you roll a kiddie's hollow ball along the floor, it won't catch the speed of the same side ball that's made of solid rubber. Even if you throw them at the same strength. So it is all about the weight of the car.
And the discipline. You need that discipline. The heavier the great. Cassidy slides so nice. Yeah, it's a faux pas. I get it. This is not the purest drifting, but this is small scale drifting. We are off the map. We are we're going in directions that no one even intended. And again, I'm from Florida. I ain't quite right. So I wasn't raised right. So I'm just gonna try it all.
I'm in trouble.
If you bear with me just a moment, I'm going to grab my BMRX, I'm going to grab my digital scale, and I'm going to grab my drift dart, and we'll weigh them up. I'll show them kind of what's going on, because we've mentioned this. Oh, yeah. If you're ever dating or married to one, let me give you a little advice. If you hear someone's name 3 times, you got to meet them, all right? Whether it's a guy or a girl, no matter. I hear that name 3 times, I'm going to meet that person. I got to see what the hell's going on. So we've talked about BMRX Pro VIP for a little bit, and the weight more than a few times. So I'm going to get it here so I can just show people what's going on. I would estimate that my BMRX Pro is double the weight of my drift dart. Double. Okay? Without a body. Okay? But, we'll see. That's my predilection. I'll be right back. 30 seconds.
I went to throw my box out today, Chris, for me airbrush booth that I bought. Yeah. Just a big cardboard box to come in. And as I threw it out, that rolled out of it. I thought, that's handy. Little turntable.
Yeah. Oh, you
Didn't
bought a
even know
new
it was
one,
it.
yes?
Yeah, I bought a new spray booth, one you can fold up. Yeah, I bought some new spray bits, mate. I got myself a new stand. I'm going to keep this one clean because the other one's covered in shit. Oh, covered in paint, should I say. Sorry, my language, people. Yeah, the other one's covered in paint. And then I picked the Ferrari up today. I'm thinking about doing a white dip on it. I thought she's looking dull, so I might just do a dip on it and see what she does.
Oh, man. Do it.
I've got no floor polish next week, bro. Next week I'll do it real time. I'll make inquiries this week with the guy I'm working with because he's a finisher and polishing expert in the flooring trade. I'll just say to him, I want some polish I can put down. It's going to go rock hard, dry solid like nail varnish, and I can polish me what it is. And he'll get me a sample bottle. And then, I'll give it a go, man, and we'll find out what's what. It'll be expensive, no doubt, but it'll work great.
That's one way to get to the mountain. All right. What do we got here? Is this a decent camera angle? Should I switch it?
Let's just see them cars on the scales, because I'm with you. I think it's going to be close to nearly twice its weight.
All right. So let me see. Can we see? Okay, yeah. All righty. We're going to go on. I like grams. I'm going to just put my little block here. This little foam block is 2.8 grams. I'm going to tear it or zero it out. Boom. All right. First up is going to be an all-up, ready to go. This was not my wiring. I just received this car, but this is going to be a PWK fully printed chassis. The only thing missing out of it is a battery, but there's no batteries in this. And it comes in at essentially 96 actually 97 grams because it's 96.7. We'll just call it 97. So that's 97 grams all up weight for the PWK. This is such an amazing little car. Let's see if I could turn this here. We got the active rear toe by like a lot. I don't know. I'm going to try to,
Yeah, man, you can see it good.
Yeah, that rear toe is just amazing, active rear toe. So anyway, so 97 grams for PWK. Up next is an all brass VIP GLD, no battery, at 0. I put it here. All right, and what do we got? We have 97. This is 108 grams. All right, so about 10 more grams, or 20 more grams. 20 more grams. Whoa! All right.
That's nearly an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce, man.
Yeah. And now we got a Drift Dart with a battery. No, actually without a battery. Drift Dart without a battery. This is my daily. This is my car's no secret. This is what runs the Chevy. This one is 140 grams on the nose. All right, so another 20 grams.
Hang on. You've got weight on the front of that car, though, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I got 5 grams in the front. And 1/4 ounce in the back of the body.
Wow.
Actually, I'll put the body on. We'll see the all-up driving weight is now 215 grams.
So I'll stick the BMRX on.
All right, 215 all up on the Drift Dart. BMRX Pro VIP comes in at a whopping, not bad, 230 grams. 230 grams.
Without a body, man, that's nearly 60 grams heavier than your Drift Dart.
Yeah, without a
That's
body. Here, I'll put my body on it.
2 ounces heavier. That's 2 ounces heavier than your Drift Dart.
Okay, with a body, I'm weighing in at 304 grams.
Woo.
That's more than 3 times the weight of the PWK. I mean, wow. So anyway, the BMRX Pro is a fantastic chassis, but again, it will require a type of driving that most people don't like, and that's conservative driving. Conservative driving is a real bugaboo. But this thing gets a good angles. Even though it has this wiper arm system, I know this will be difficult to observe, but it uses a wiper arm system. And since the motor's in the front, the only real issue is that the wipers will contact the motor bulkhead. Very similar to any FRD or front motor rear drive car. That's what FRD stands for. But yeah, it gets good Ackerman. As you can see, the toe is pretty flat, on this particular car. I only run just a little bit of toe on this one, but yeah, it's got crazy good angle. I just love driving this car. It's great, but I cannot drive it like my other cars. It's really just, it's a handful. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. You take your car and double the weight, you're going to have a good time. Take your significant other, double the weight. You're going to have a good time. All right. So anyway, listen, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So there you go. Driving style, the chassis, where the motor is, it's all going to affect what you're doing. It's all going to affect what's going on.
No doubt. Yeah, that dip method is, like I said, it is tough to beat. I mean, I am not worried about 4K, 5K, 10K paint jobs. They say, listen, I'm going to put 20 of these on the table to your 2. I'll just beat you in the averages, but that's why I don't compete anymore. It's just,
Yeah, I think she's getting some 0 RC wheels on it.
I just love this little. Yeah, the GLD is a great little car. I mean, you could get them for almost next to nothing, and not because they're not worth it. It's just, people have kind of, they're in the 24th, and and totally understandably why. Here, look, I'll just put them right next to each other. This is a 28 scale, and this would be my 24th scale. So this is just a pretty monster-sized car.
And the your 24 scale isn't really a big 24 scale, is it? When you think about
Well,
it.
actually, it's a 25th scale. This will be a 25th scale because AMT, that's the base model for the Chevy. AMT only makes this in the 25th. But it's clearly 30 millimeters longer in the back. I mean, easily, you know? So, but anyway, you could just get a lot more GLD sideways, you know, in the same corners, you know, but it is what it is. I love them. If you're just starting out, you could do a lot worse, you know. I also got some show and tells.
Eh? What was that, Dwight?
Yes, sir.
What were you saying then?
Oh, you know, I have, you know, also some fun show and tells here, you know, for the viewer. You know, you just let me know how the program's progressing.
What's this? You got to paint? Is this what you're going to paint the inside of that body on?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta go mute for a second. Wife just came home. The dogs are about to go nuts.
You all right? Yeah.
I have a built-in security system in the house. You know,
Yeah.
I got 12 sets of legs and 3 mouths. So, again, my favorite store, Temu. I'm getting these. These are in the manicure section. These are metallic powdered pigments that they use for manicure. These are easy to apply. They go on awesome, and you could buff the hell out of them. And then if you choose to, you can seal them with a clear coat or dipping, you know, whatever the case may be. The dip that I use will not mute these colors, or they will not finish, say. In fact, it just enhances it by giving it some depth. Even has a nice dark color here, etc. So I love these so much that on my quote-unquote race car, my scale race car, you know, my car would have aluminum bodywork, you know, if not carbon. But, you know, carbon kind of boring, you know, as far as paint goes. So the underside of this is going to be aluminum. So, you know, it has the appearance of being possibly an aluminum hood. And, you know, I'm going to weather it on the bottom, you know, with a little black wash and so forth. There really isn't a lot of detail at all. In fact, there's no detail underneath the hood. But, you know, that's usually where I'm looking. You know, if I was in a competition, I would look under the hood and see, like, you know, how they kind of got that hurdle. Some people are putting a fabric tape underneath here to kind of mimic some of the old school cars. They had underneath the bonnet, I guess Chris would say, they would have like some sort of like mattress topper or something that looked in there. So, you know, you could go just about any way to do it. But in this case, I'm going to do the aluminum. And all I'm going to do right now, off camera or whatever, I'm just going to tape over these edges here so I don't get any bleed over onto the front. Now, I have clear coated this by dipping it. And when you dip these cars, you'll notice that the gloss is high, but it has kind of like a tack to it. Now, I could put some floor polish, like some spray, like Pledge on it to really get it to pop, but I kind of like this tackiness because this will allow this powder to stick really nice without adding any fresh kind of stuff to it. And so I'm going to show you how it works, and I love it. This is going to take your engine detailing, your interior detailing to the next level. I mean, imagine all of these pigments right here. Excuse me. I'm going to just move this down. Imagine all these pigments, you know, inside the engine bay. You have all your AN fittings, you know, your aircraft fittings and so forth. You could get your nice anodonic blues and grays and golds. I mean, all of this that you see right here was like $7. All right. And this is a lifetime of powder. Okay. It's a lifetime of powder. So anyway, I'm going to tape this thing up. You know, hopefully Chris will occupy some space here so we don't have any dead air. So,
yeah, just trying to squeeze some wheels on these tires. It's tight, man.
Which?
First time? Oh, do you have one of Justin Rauterbach's tire changing machines?
No, that's what I just said. I wish I had one.
Yeah, you do. They're awesome.
I haven't got one yet, mate. I'm waiting.
Right. Nothing crazy. I'm just doing the edges here. just to keep the powder from creeping. It's bound to happen. And I would suggest wearing gloves because this powder is super fine. God only knows any health info. It won't be the craziest thing in my lungs. You ever burn any poop in the desert? All right. So I'm fully immune. All right. All right. So we got that there. I'm going to put on some gloves. No big deal. Unless your gloves are a size small and you have a size large hand. Oof. Well, I could save myself a lot of money if my prophylactic was made out of this. Jeez Louise. All right. It's working. All right. Whew. Skin tight. Just my size. All right. That's one. Yeah, you know when your hand starts pulsing because it can't get blood, it's the right size. Woo! I use a 7 mil glove. These are really thick. I deal with a lot of sharp stuff, and every once in a while they come in pretty filthy. So I put these on so I don't get someone's grandma injected into my bloodstream. All right. This is just all right. Ding! My fingers are like don't even want to bend. All right, everyone ready? So I'm going to do this silver right here. Yeah, this is a nice looking silver right here. You know, right? That looks silver. That looks aluminum. Now, oh yeah, I've been inside this one. Cool. So this is the one I used last time. So I'm just going to peel this back. And as you can see, it's just a really fine powder. Doesn't seem like there's a lot in there, but I can assure you it's plenty. All right. So again, this stuff is, if you've ever handled anti-seize, this is pretty much anti-seize's cousin right here. All right, anti-seize. So all I'm doing, if you guys could see, right here, I'm just dipping my brush in here, and I'm just plopping it here. Whoa, look at that. See how it just spreads like that? But I'm just going to put it on here. As you can see, it just spreads so easily. And then I'll just start brushing it on here. Ooh. Yeah, definitely wear a mask with this. Don't follow my advice. So I'll just work this around, and it'll start to adhere. As you can see, like it started to adhere in certain areas, you know? And then, again, I'm just kind of reapplying and burnishing it down. Essentially, I'm just burnishing it, or kind of rubbing it, if you will, with these brushes. Sometimes I will add, like on another body that I was experimenting on, I actually added kind of like a wettish kind of clear coat, you know, to kind of aid. But again, I'm just going to make up for it in the content here, and hopefully this will transfer like I expect it to. Ooh, super powdery. I don't know how these people are doing this for a living. Yeah, see, it's sticking really low where I have my B6000. You can kind of see it adhering there, right here on the front hood line. See, this is why I like doing stuff live, because you just never know what's going to happen. Let me go right back. I'm just going to grab something real quick. My finger is completely chrome plated right here. Right. Well, I was looking for that body that I had experimented with. I used this in a gold tone across the trunk lid. It was a Mercedes, and I mean, it just came out so sweet. I was expecting the same results here on this Bear hood because they had pretty much the same setup, but you know, again, these results varied a little bit, but I'm really committed to this stuff. So, what I'm going to use for the base to adhere it, it's out. Um, on my hands, just as an example, like you can see some of these areas where it's like puddled, and now I could burnish it or brush it down, and it will begin to buff. Not in this particular example, but again, it's probably just the base that I put it on. So I'm not really going to worry too much about it because I'll be able to repeat it. But yeah, like if you see my finger right here, this is pretty much what I was getting like on the engine block and some other things that I was doing. I just can't find that one body. I have like a little test mule body that I use, and it's really good for that kind of stuff. Different painting techniques. I mean, that body, I'll post a picture of it attached to this video, but it kind of represents all these different painting techniques I was trying out. But yeah, like you could just see my hands, as I rub them together, like they just, turn in glittery. So you get that piled up. It gives a really nice hue. Again, I'll post a link to that body. I'm glad I capped this soup up. I'm glad I did all that too, because this stuff is pretty fine powder for sure. I'm definitely inhaling this stuff. Not a good thing. But anyway, so yeah, I'll just put this to the side, and hey, we'll just keep it rolling. Whew. Yeah, look at that. That showing up? Yeah.
Do you know it might look better, Dwight, if you painted the bonnet black beforehand?
Yeah, it's possible, but I put it on a white bodied car when I first did it. That's the car I was actually looking for, but I just don't know where I put that sucker. But my hands, as I said, they getting this like sheen to it, and again, it's these powders, they buff right up. I just have to figure out what was different on that white body that isn't present on this particular one. I believe, to my knowledge, I dipped that white body. So, I was assuming that surface was, maybe I didn't, maybe it was just some traditional clear coat, but either way, we are good to go. Again, these products, when used appropriately and they actually pull off, then, again, it's going to elevate for sure. All good. Oh, you know what? Let's see how they do with dry brushing, since I have some here on my brush. These are these little cans that I did. I'm just going to kind of try here on the bottom at first. When you dry brush, it's really easy to go overboard. So I'm kind of glad that this thing doesn't like stick like it should. But when this has that slightly metallic kind of look to it, it adds some visual interest. Yeah, because see, now it's getting inside these little like nooks and crannies, because I use the salt technique on this. This has like some little holes in the paint, if you will. This was actually a failed print that my buddy sent me, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna put that to work. So I just painted them up white, then I taped it, and then painted it red. For anyone wanting to do that, because I wouldn't put white over the red, because it would turn pink. So again, you have to kind of think about that kind of stuff. What's that?
Look how sick these wheels look when they're spinning. Ready?
Super nice.
Yeah, they're nice. I like them too.
Directionals. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone can see, but like the little glitter, it's just, I don't know, it just makes it pop. Look, I have a standard one right next to it. I don't know if it's easy to tell. I'm going to put a little bit on this one right here, because it has a lot of exposed metal on it. But yeah, you just play with it. I mean, it's not going to be my last, can. You know what I'm saying? Little Timu little pot in here. So cute. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you think you're gonna mess it up, don't. Just snap out of it. Only you would know.
Well, you can always sand it back, bro.
Yeah, of course.
You can sand and stick over it, put it back where it was.
Yeah, just to
Go again.
touch on paint removal, just real quick, because that's an excellent thing. If you ever my technique, if I screw up a body, and it happens, I will soak it in a degreaser called Totally Awesome. It's available at the dollar store. Hell, you can get the full strength version because I'm kind of convinced the dollar store one isn't quite full strength. But Totally Awesome is a product available at like your department store here in the States, and so forth. But yeah, you soak that body. I've honestly forgot a body in that stuff and left it in there for like 3 months. And it came out just fine. It did not attack the plastic at all, but it did remove all of that paint for sure. But yeah, anywhere between a half hour and 3
that's
hours.
Impressive.
What's that?
That's really impressive after 3 months.
Yeah. Actually,
I
you know what
forgot
car
the
it was?
body in paint dissolver for one night and it was broken.
Oh yeah, no. This stuff, I'm telling you, and I'll show you the car. If you look on Small Scale Drifters, way back in the day, I had a gray R34 that kind of looked like it came from a junkyard. That gray was literally the base coat and the color, I guess, of that model. And it had this really nice crackle effect. I mean, it looked awesome as a weathered car, but that was the one I left in there for so long. All I did was run that thing under the water. I gave it like a little feel with my hand, and I'm like, you know what? There ain't nothing on this body that, a base coat of primer, your color coat, your decals, and then your clear coat. I mean, and that turned into the white Driftaholics team car that I have. I don't have any glass for that car because, honestly, I thought in a moment, I'm like, did I have the stuff for that car? I don't know. So I just threw out the other stuff. Then I found the car inside my degreaser bath, and I was like, oh, snap. Well, so now I made a missile out of it, drift missile. So, it's all good. That's kind of like how this car came about, drift missile, I was missing the glass, a couple other things, but this car's about halfway done, I still got a lot of stuff to add. Stephen Fest is helping me out, and so forth.
So you add lights.
White.
Yeah, with lights, exactly.
Chris, move your microphone. We can barely hear you.
White.
Yes, sir.
Watch this.
Blow on it.
Watch.
Yes,
The car,
yeah.
mate, I'm on it.
Man.
Whoa! See that?
Yeah. You have an apparition in there. This guy got a ghost.
What? You just said to me,
I see the string right there, dude. I see the string.
Yeah, you said blow on it, yeah?
Yeah. Hey,
nice, man. Chris.
That's
nice
pretty
job.
impressive. Actually, I just Bobby Ross this hood because, again, this powder is like anthrax or asbestos. Check this out. This thing came out. I don't know if you can get the glitter on that. I want to try to hold it up a little bit, but. Is there any glitter coming out?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it on my end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it.
You can see it.
Yeah, that in its proportions, it almost looks like I added a glitter flake to it. This is on the white section of the car, which is great because, if I had like a white glitter, whatever, then, hey, who doesn't like glitters, big booties, and blowers?
Yeah, who
Not
doesn't?
this guy.
Well,
I don't know. Trying to get this reflection to come down. Yeah, Rio's decals are the truth. Best money spent.
yeah. I'll stick that dragon on my Hilux. So,
And
I
so
was
now,
speak-
just to figure it out, oh, you know what? I've already dipped this body, so I'm not going to wash it. But what I will do is I'm just going to hit it with the paper towel here on the backside and just kind of get rid of all that excess. I could see it now. Did you use powdered pigments from Temu over the past 2 years?
No.
Call Morgan & Morgan. Yeah. I mean, it's foolproof. I don't know. I'm really happy with that top coat. All right. Anyway, going to clean up this area right here. What else is on the agenda? Did we burn through everything? That was like the quickest hour and a half to 2 hours of my life.
well, the only thing we can chat about quickly now is what's gone on the page
Yeah, that would be interesting.
this week.
As a close.
Yeah.
Well, Hong Yang Lee has put another excellent post up this week with the zero purple body on it. I know it's a GL Racing bodies, but it just looks so nice with the car. So I thought he's definitely worth a mention. And the other chap I'd like to bring up is Kyle McIntosh. He was saying that he's got a wobbling shaft on his TG. Yeah, and it just so happens there's the TG. And I mean, I've got numerous of these. This is not wobbling in any way. Right now, what I think Kyle has got, the pin that runs through the middle, I think the end of it is either being threaded slightly off centre, so the retaining screw is going in at an angle, because when you watch him spinning it, don't look at the wheel, look at the actual nut itself, and the nut itself is making this action. Instead of it being
Eccentric,
central, yeah, it's moving, right? Which indicates to me it's either threaded, cross-threaded, or he's got it where the pin goes through that you fit it onto.
I'm going to glitter my hat.
Well, he might have left his pin sticking out too much on one side, so the actual gear itself is not sitting flat. Yeah, so that's the only suggestions I can give him. If it is a bent shaft, contact TG.
Yeah, they'll take care of it 100%.
Yeah, Goo's very nice, very amicable man. GUO Racing there. Yeah, other than that, 3C's done an excellent DeLorean with the body pack on. Excellent work there. He's doing some great work lately. Johnny
Yeah,
Strangles.
is he going to do that Porsche?
I hope so. I hope so. But Johnny Strangles.
Yeah, like the one with the open top.
Yeah, man, that was sweet. But
Yeah,
Johnny Strangles.
Yep.
John Strangles put his Beamer and his makeup this week. Both of them look absolutely fantastic. They're brilliant, my oven.
Yeah, I like the wagon he put on. That was super nice. The Green Goblin also he was making. I mean, he puts out some sick builds. I mean, he puts out a lot of sick builds, you know. I don't know if they're new chassis or just tuned and repurposed. I don't know. You know, everyone's got their own thing.
John's looking at something at the moment. He sent me photos of the kit, and I was like, "Wow, man, that looks nice." And he says, "Mine's on the way." And I'm not gonna say what it is because John, we all know John likes to spell his own way, which I appreciate that. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me to show something he's working on. We'll let him show it himself. But yeah, Johnny Strangle's got a lovely resin kit en route, which I've never seen. I'll be made up to see what he does with it. Other than that, Ryan over at DCRC there, he's doing all right this week. He's
real good on the community. He's got people visiting, and he's got a sick track. I love it.
Yeah, man, he's doing well. He's got his own page up now, like I say, DCRC. So, by all means, go and visit him. It's he's got some great videos up. He does his own videography and that. Very gifted young chap. So
yeah, and he's a renderer and designer, and man, he does it all. I mean, he's a one-man gang.
Yeah, and then the only other person I could like to think is at the moment, top of my head, is Rio for them decals. They look absolutely fantastic, and I will give ProScale a shout out because, mate, I'm in the UK, I know I am, but I got them rapid. They were a couple of days. The prices were competitive. They've got a lot. You can actually contact them to get paints color matched to your car.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you go on the page, I didn't look into it, but they've got nearly every manufacturer on their page, and you click on the manufacturer, then it gives you the models, and you can click on the model, what series and what have you, and boom, they'll tell you what colors that car is.
I got to be honest, working on web pages and stuff on the back end, I could tell you that is a monumental undertaking to kind of have that available just for nothing. Like you could go on there. I mean, this stuff just doesn't even, materialize. Like someone literally had to input all that, research it. I mean, it's congrats to them.
Looking, I mean, I've missed the sales. I missed it. I've joined I've got my eye on the page, but they had sales of one-off customer purchase paints, basically 30mm pots for £3, man. That's $5 for 30mm of pre-thin paint. Yeah. And there was some exotic colours. There was pineapple. There was some crazy greens, some crazy blues. And you think, well, 30mm, that will get you through a car. You'll get the whole car done out of that one bottle. So you could get some right nice paint colours. I mean, they do the candy flip. They do the candies. I mean, they do the flips. They do the candies. They do translucent. So they do plenty of tools for spraying and model making and all that. So, yeah, I can honestly say the service was great. The page looks fantastic. The prices are competitive. So I give ProScale in the UK a big thumbs up this week.
Awesome.
Nice.
Anyone you want to thank, Dwight?
Yeah, I mean, man, if I leave your name out, it is not on purpose. Just blame it on old age. But Justin Rotterbach and I are like this. He has just been, just pounding away. He pulls like an ox, all right? This guy is just helping Cools R&D really get my logo out there, get my brand out there, get my swag out there. I know that Small Scale Drifters is right there. Honestly, he's just refining his printing and his techniques, so he has that fit and finish that he's looking for, and then he's just going to start branding, I guess. Cools R&D, Small Scale Drifters, hopefully RC Supremacy. I mean, all of us succeed together, and it's just having fun. I'm having tire changing kits put out there. These are going to be different than anything else you've seen on the market. It's going to look awesome. I might be kind of biased because it's got my name on it, but just saying, they're awesome. A lot of technology went into it. A lot of thought. I'm trying to be as thoughtful as possible to the Small Scale Drifter. I'm planning on going to Indonesia in January. I want to travel light. I want to travel fast with my own custom stuff by, Justin. He has an RC hobby shop that, he just hasn't put out there yet. He told me the name last night. Just God forgive me, I just can't recall it, but it was a great name. Anyway, long story short, my products are just designed for people to, take to the track, show up with some good quality looking stuff, handle what you got to handle, tire changing, chassis setup, just what have you. It's a growing product line, and there will be a lot of overlap for sure. There'll be color combos and designs that people may gravitate to and towards, and that's all good. It's just fun. It's all for fun and nothing serious. These are design exercises. This is helping a young man hone his craft. Maybe he won't have to do the 9 to 5. Now he's just doing the 9 to 9. 24 hours. But his devotion to this product is way more than I could ever bring to the table. I'm telling you. He's like, oh, you know what? I love this, but now it's got to be totally redesigned. I was like, oh my goodness. Wow, I'm just not going to get in the way, man. I gave him full artistic license to do what he's got to do. His design has made it over to Rio. Rio's going to use the similar designs on Cools R&D livery. These are for the pro modeler. If building these cars were easy, man, we'd all have cool looking ones. You know what I'm saying? So, it's really just to help people, I don't know, pour their passion into it. I don't know. I hope it works
Yeah.
out for everyone, but I'm
Very
certainly
nice,
happy with
yeah.
Justin.
So, okay,
Chris,
guys,
you got in?
I want to thank everybody who is watching our Sunday ceremonies now and
Yes,
liked
thank you.
and commented them in the past. Please go on like this. Maybe more subscriber would be nice, more comments would be nice, more likes would be nice, like always. Yeah, and I think it was a good ceremony, and we will see you next week with another hopefully interesting ceremony. And with
That's how I
some
say
new
goodbye.
stuff.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
See you next week.
See you
Bye-bye.
next week, people. Take care.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Hey, much love.
Much love. Bye bye.